I'm going to show you the Greenhouse Gas Emissions Community Inventory tool. And so what is this thing? It's a web-based carbon calculator. You've heard about CO2 and how communities are trying to reduce their emissions into the atmosphere in order to mitigate climate disaster. And what we've created is a Salesforce database and a tool that will help them to track and analyze their carbon footprint. What's it good for? Local governments submit data about their annual use of electricity and fossil fuels. And our web portal helps the government users to translate their kind of raw data about their usage into a carbon footprint using the best available science. And they summarize their data in fancy-looking charts, and then they discover opportunities to reduce their environmental impact based on the data. So how do we do it? It's kind of a mashup between a Salesforce customer portal and then some Salesforce custom programming for these data entry pages that you're going to see, and then a little bit of snappy user interface with something called jQuery, and then Google visualization for the charts that are interactive and have little pop-ups and so forth. Let me show you. So I've just logged into this portal. I'm a user that has been authorized by the portal administrator to get in here, and I log in and I say that I'm going to create a new inventory for a year of carbon usage or electricity and other emissions. And I pick a year, and then I can say that I can pick my utility, because all of the numbers that come out of the emissions are going to be based on the emissions standards provided by my utility. And I can also give my population so that it'll. Now I'm just actually going to go to a year that we've created before, so that you'll see some data. And when I go there, I see that I've created a whole bunch of these records that add up all of the electricity and natural gas, propane, fuel oil, and other emissions and then they have a total output at the bottom. Now this one, I'm going to enter some electricity usage in kilowatt hours, and when I do that, you'll see that we calculate out based on coefficients in the database, the equivalent CO2e that goes into the atmosphere, and then other gases that go into the atmosphere. And then when I'm done with that, I can also go into other sectors of my emissions inventory. For example, on the waste generation sector, I get to tell you about my output of paper products, food waste, and maybe change and describe my recycling behavior. And I can say that I generated a total in last year of this much waste, and then similarly that's going to calculate out the equivalent CO2. When I save that, then the chart over here on the right updates. I've got a bar chart for all of the different records that I've saved, and this pie chart that now tells me what part of my waste is in each different sector. And then finally, when I'm done, I go to reporting. We've got a whole bunch of Salesforce reports. Salesforce provides us with a robust reporting engine, and I'll show you this one chart. That's an example of what you can do, but they can add as many reports as they need for this. This is all of the data that we've entered into the sector, and this is a report that is very useful to kind of to the folks in the community that are in the municipality who are responsible for reducing emissions. Fancy charts. These charts come from Salesforce. The ones on the pages came from Google visualizations. And can I take any questions from all of you?
Who's using this tool?
This tool is in use. I'm glad you asked that. It's just been rolled out to municipalities in California, and it was the initial effort was funded primarily by California utilities because they're required to help local governments to reduce their CO2 emissions. Any other questions?
Where does the data come from?
The data comes from the municipality. They're already tracking. In most cases, they're already tracking this data. There are defaults for a lot of the items where we let them assume that they are like every other, like they are like every other
Everybody move
municipality.
on to the next